calling this a blockbuster, I don't know that I would go there. The Broncos and Dolphins make a seismic trade. You got Jalen Waddle going from Miami to Denver. Waddle and a fourth in exchange for a first, third, and fourth. There it is on the screen. So the Miami Dolphins will now have the 30th pick in the first round, 30th overall, and a third and a fourth. Miami pretty clearly signaling what they're doing. So a long time ago, somebody smart told me, Jay, don't believe people when they say something. Believe people when they do something. Somebody comes out and says, oh, I want to start a business. And they're playing video games around the clock, right? Somebody says, I want to write a screenplay. And they're out boozing it up 3 nights a week at bars, okay? Believe their actions. For the last month and change, the Miami Dolphins have been said, we're not tanking. No, we're not tanking. That's not a thing we do. Well, we just got rid of Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb so we could clean up our cap. And then the Miami Dolphins went out and said, we're going to go get Malik Willis. See, that's not what tanking teams do. We've got maybe our franchise quarterback. And then now 5 minutes later, here come the Dolphins trading one of their 3 good players. Guys, I'm not even exaggerating. The Miami Dolphins roster is horrible. Did I say horrible? Horrific. It's terrible. It's right down there with the Jets. And it's very clear the signal is out. Miami is tanking. I know you don't want to hear it. Tanking's for the NBA. No. The Miami Dolphins have a clear vision. We need to clear up our cap, clean it all out. Let's get rid of the old players from the old regime, and let's target the 2027 draft. They are loading up. I saw they have 4 third-round picks or fourth-round picks for next year's draft. Everybody knows next year's draft is the one with quarterbacks, okay? Arch Manning would be the big prize. Everybody would love him. My Jets would love him. They are also in full-on tank mode. I mean, Geno Smith, really? Seriously. The other side of the coin is the Denver Broncos. And you've got to love this trade if you're a Broncos fan. They're doing cartwheels in altitude right now. I mean, Sean Payton gets a great weapon in Jalen Waddle, who fits in that offense perfectly. I know he hasn't been an all-pro. I don't even think he has a Pro Bowl on his resume. And his numbers have actually declined a bit the last couple of years. He had a great first 2 seasons in the league. I think 1,300 yards in year 2. And he fits seamlessly alongside Cortland Sutton, who's the big body contested guy. Waddle, you see, is great over the middle, got the speed. They got young Pat Bryant, who looks like a player. They drafted him last year, 3rd-round pick. He showed well. You maybe move off of Marvin Mims, see what you can get for him. I like the tight end in Evan Ingram. Denver, the arrow is clearly pointing up. You've got the quarterback on the rookie deal, and the move is fortify the roster. Broncos fans were a little upset that they didn't do more yet in the offseason, kind of re-signing their guys, no big splashes. This qualifies as a splash. I do wonder, listen, the trade just broke 30 minutes ago, so we don't know the details. But is it possible that the Broncos looked at the draft, analyzed guys from the combine, and said, listen, I don't think we can get anybody plug and play that's at the Jalen Waddle level. This is a seasoned pro. He comes in, listen, Sean Payton's going to unlock some of his best stuff the same way Mike McDaniel did. I think this is a great trade for the Broncos. And I will add, folks, you look around the AFC, there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, hell, the Bills and Ravens, 2 contenders with superstar quarterbacks, they just dumped their coaches. What's that reboot going to be like? Patrick Mahomes is coming off a major injury, and I know they're saying all the right things. Oh, Mahomes, yeah, he'll be ready for the opener. Okay, well, you can say that, but again, what are your actions? They just went and traded for Justin Fields, who I probably would guess starts week 1. I know the league wouldn't love that. They love Mahomes back in the saddle, but there's uncertainty in Kansas City. They don't have a secondary. I mean, they just lost their top 2 quarterbacks. So we're looking at Chiefs down, Ravens down, Bills, I mean, the Broncos just beat them in the playoffs in a hell of a game. But then you even look at the Steelers. What's their quarterback situation? Uncertainty that reigns there, too. Jacksonville, are they going to duplicate, double-digit wins? Houston has some major questions at quarterback after C.J. Stroud's terrible playoff game. So the AFC is kind of sort of wide open. And the Broncos just watched the New England Patriots go from the cellar to the penthouse with Drake May and adding Stephon Diggs. So I think this is a home run for the Denver Broncos, just an outstanding move. Sean Payton and company in Denver have done a phenomenal job pivoting from Russell Wilson's disaster to quickly #1 seed in the AFC Championship game, And my guess, I haven't seen an update in the odds. I think Denver probably is your favorite in the AFC heading into next season.
Oh man. Okay. Let's get after this, baby. Let's get after this right now, Denver Broncos fans. Boys cracking and everything. Hair still wet. We're going after it. Man, I am so pumped for this move. So pumped for this move. A move like this is why other moves can get kind of a lukewarm response. Whether it's DJ Moore, whether it's Kenneth Walker, whether it's a Trey Hendricks, because a move like this to me is similar to like the Philadelphia Eagles getting A.J. Brown with Tennessee Titans. Now, the big difference is that, and I'm not even necessarily comparing the players in terms of what they both can do and all of that. So don't get too lost in that. But the biggest difference is that at that time for Philly, you haven't really seen what they were capable of doing because 21 they made the playoffs and they lost. It was hardly something big there for them. Whereas the Broncos are already 2 years into that kind of the new era of the Denver Broncos. And that's why it was like weird jacks like the Broncos just watched the Patriots go from the cellar to the and it's just like buddy the Broncos don't need to watch the Patriots do anything. The Broncos did it. The Broncos did it themselves. Like what do you were not looking at the Patriots doing anything. They're the ones that were the number 1 seed. They're the ones that would have won the AFC if it wasn't for Bo Nix getting injured. So, yeah, the Broncos aren't watching anyone right now. The Broncos are doing what they want to do. They're doing what they want to do. And I love this trade because Jalen Watt is also young enough where when you give up like a hefty draft piece, right? Like especially like a first round pick or something. It's such a fair trade to make. And I mean now like obviously these are trades, but now I mean trade in terms of like the more general sense of a trade, right? Like it's a good bargain. It's a good trade. Because you're getting talent that is going to be able to perform right now and it's not like in the most narrow window where you're trading for like a 29-30-year-old receiver where you say okay listen he's still elite he's still great but like we got this narrow window right now that we better take advantage like you don't necessarily have that with Jalen Waddle at all. So you are good on that front. When you make some of these moves and sometimes they can feel a little desperate is if you're probably like 30 is kind of like an arbitrary cutoff point but when you just kind of start inching up there you make a move and you're just kind of like hey this guy is great all this but he is 30 and hopefully he can still be bring a lot of juice over these next couple of like you have and again this is why I compared it more to the A.J. Brown trade. It's just like you got truly years of production. And if you have a first-round pick, right? Let's just make it stupid simple. You just got a first-round pick. And I know this trade is a little bit more than that. And you just say, here's a first-round pick and we're going to guarantee that we're going to get at least 4 years of truly top-level wide receiver play or any position for that matter. It's totally worth it. Yes, there's always technically someone that you can draft that could be even better and then you don't have to pay him and he could be great for the next 8 years that I mean we already know it's like the hit rate in the draft is not even a coin flip. It's a roll of the dice. It's not even 50-50. And so this is just such a more guaranteed play that even if you now have to give a little bit more than say like the first pick, it's okay. It's a fair bargain. It's a fair trade when you factor in the age, when you factor in the guarantee of productivity, when you factor in like, hey, we're ready to win. Right now. We're ready to win right now. We were at the top of the AFC last season. We had the number 1 seed. And this is what I had said. I made a clip about the Buffalo Bills because Nick Ray kind of went on and on and on. Oh, I can't wait to see what Nick has to say about this. I can't wait for a couple hours. They better open the show with this. They better open the show with this. They're talking there they're spending all this time about Kenneth Walker and Justin Fields. You better open the show with this. Where was I going? With Buffalo Bills because Nick was kind of saying, I don't know. The Buffalo Bills are so desperate. They're making all these desperate moves, blah 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 blah. And he went on talking about how the Chiefs are kind of in a rebuild, and this is like throughout the segment. How they're kind of retooling and how the Ravens haven't had a good off-season and this that and the third and he talked about how the Patriots and Drake May is going to be scarred, and my whole rant was like, if you think all of that is true, then why would the Bills not go Allen, because you're looking around the league, and he said that he thought the Broncos were going to be scarred. He's naming all these teams, and it's like, if everyone else is taking a step back, then why would the Bills not say, hey, this is our opportunity to try to take to be aggressive and take a step forward? It doesn't make any sense. And so with all of that logic, and Nick doesn't think that the Bills are doing a good job or that the Ravens are doing a good job, and on and on and on. It's like, well then here are the Broncos. They're doing the job. They're doing the things that they need to do to take a step forward. They're doing the things to be aggressive, and I love it. It makes total sense. And again, you use some of this draft capital, especially right now, because then when it is time to pay a bonus, that's when you're going to have to rely on that 25th pick or 32nd pick. 25th is too low. The 32nd pick. So like, and that will matter tremendously more. So yeah, man. This is why you can't get too crazy about what a team is doing or not doing in free agency. I've been saying this for many teams throughout the course of some of these teams that haven't been making big splash moves in free agency, that you're just kind of like, you just don't know what's on the table, right? What a team is looking to do, what they're trying to accomplish, as well as what's inherently possible for them. You can't just look at, well, they got $50 million in free agency. Why aren't they spending it right now? It's just not that cut and dry. It's not like you have $50 and you go to a grocery store and now you're just like, okay, I can buy $50 worth of food here. It's like that's not how it works. It's just not how this stuff works. It's way more complicated than that. And so moves like this, man. Denver Broncos coming in hot. It's so funny. I made a couple Broncos videos over the weekend. I was talking about how there was so much momentum when Bo Nix first got drafted, and then going into last season, there was so much hype, so much energy, so many of the moves that the Broncos were making that the conversations were just easy to have. And I was saying how this season things are a lot more settled, and the way how the season, ended. Bo Nix injury, it was kind of controversial. But we we discussed it a lot, and then things just really kind of fell right now, and that there's none of this other momentum. And I talked about how the Broncos actually have genuine momentum. People just don't realize it. I was like, but they have the momentum actually. They have a tremendous amount of momentum, but people aren't talking about this team in a way in which they actually have the momentum. And now they do this, and now they show the momentum. Man, I love it. 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 I love the action, man. I love the action. And when this works, I'm going to look at a lot of other teams and I'm going to call them out and be like, the Broncos went out and got Jalen Watt. Why didn't you go out and get Watt? And this is what I said. This is exactly the thing that I said about the Baltimore Ravens, about how the fact that they were able to pay and buy Hendrickson and not use that draft capital for Max Crosby. And I said there's other moves to make. You can use now those first round picks for other moves. And I was like, and I don't know what's out there, because I don't know how much you can trade for Jalen Watt in this point. This is another move. This is a move that if the Ravens were like, we are going all in. We are being aggressive. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This is a move that they could have made. So, perfect. I set myself up without even realizing I was setting myself up. But I'm going to be really pushing it in October, November, December. I'm like, why didn't you trade for Jalen W? I'm going to call out all these other teams, all the other teams that didn't do it. Just like I called out teams for not going out and getting Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, etc., etc. It's like, you could have gotten it. You could have gotten Devont Adams. Devont Adams was available. You could have made a play for him. And it's important to do that. It's important to remind people like this was available. This was a move you could have made and your team simply did not do it. And the Denver Broncos did. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm really excited. I'm really fired up, man. I'm really fired up. I'm fired up. I got to post this clip because I got to hear what you all got to say. So, let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get to some discussions. Let's get to some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.